Mooning.
Morning.
Morning.
He's muted himself, hasn't he, because the tribe are going out shopping for the day.
Oh,
he's allowed on his computer.
He's been a good boy.
Oh, phone's ringing. Oh, I know, but that'll be.
That's gotta be you, Drip. Always.
Of course it is. It's
morning,
right on cue, isn't it? Right on cue every time.
Oh dear, you good? How are you doing?
I'm all right. Mate. I've got a lot of tank shit to do after the stream. Life's been busy away from the tank, so yeah, I've got a lot of tank stuff to do. Just general maintenance, nothing too heavy, but yeah, looking forward to getting it done.
How was the concert?
Well, it was a bit of a what's the word? An anticlimax, really, weren't it? Because
who did you go and see?
Well, I was going to see the War on Drugs, and I found out on Thursday, the day before, that they'd pulled out
the Venga Boys.
I know, yeah.
Come on, Barbie.
I was going to see Aquarium, hoping Tom was on stage. But in the end, the headliner was Sam Fender, and I'm not up on new music. I don't listen to new music, nothing. But he was brilliant, and he packed out. Unfortunately, one of the downsides was it was at West Ham's ground, so it was at that shithole.
Oh,
I know, yeah. But he packed out. He packed 80,000 people in that place, and I'm sitting there going, "Who even is this geezer? He's got 80,000.
Yeah,
massive. I had no clue. No clue.
Did you tell everybody who you were though, Drip?
You won't believe it. I was in the queue. Right, I was in the queue.
Here we go.
it's Jimmy from the Reefers Network.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Someone shouted out, heard someone shout out, "Is that the idiot?" And I was, yeah. Morning. Nah, it was good,
anyway,
mate. Good.
More importantly, it's a very special day for anybody that doesn't know. Happy birthday, John Boy.
Happy birthday, Jono.
Where's the rest of it? Is that it?
Mate, I did that literally in 3 minutes before we went live. That's why I was kind of rushing late.
And that is how much you mean to the Reefers Network, John. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. You get a special shout out this morning. Hope you have a great day, John. Whatever you are doing, you're in the comments. Let us know what you've got planned for the day. Maybe a walk down LO Promenade in Skeg Vegas. Don't know. Fish and chips. Don't know. Let us know. Slots, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe his mate Woody's got a surprise little present for him or something. Who knows?
Yeah, he'll be on the Dodgems later.
Yeah. Happy birthday, mate. Happy birthday.
Let's have a shout out then. So yeah, happy birthday, John. Thanks for joining us this morning. We've got a critical reef. Morning reefers that we good. Want me to chat? Take the kids to the aquarium.
Nice.
Listening for a bit. Catch up the rest later. Have a good one. Cheers, critical. Hope you're good, buddy. Central Pie Collector, Angel Collector. Morning, folks. All these people coming on saying hello, even though they're not coming on. Morning. Anthony's here. Were you the first one in? Oh, you must have been. Well done.
Obviously.
Joe's here. Morning, Joe. Hope you're good.
Morning, mate.
He's launched something. I'm going to, if you haven't already seen it on Instagram, I'll share it in a bit. Good idea.
Say that again. What was that?
He's launched something. Well, I'll show you now, actually, seeing as though we're just giving him a call out. So he's launched. He sent me this yesterday. I said I'd give him a bit of a shout out.
I've been working an exciting wee project in the background, and if you guys are wanting a free Scottish Reefer t-shirt, you're going to hang about to find out the information. One of the hardest parts about the reef, marine hobby in general, is probably the cost. I think we would all agree. So I have launched the aquariumgiveaway.co.uk to give you guys the chances to win some of these prizes for as little as 49p. We've got a tank, we've got an MP40, we've got an AI Prime, we've got a Resettlements dosing bundle, we've got a testing bundle, we've got £100 cash, because who doesn't need £100 cash in this hobby? You're going to head over to the aquariumgiveaway.co.uk to find out all the information.
There you go.
Decent.
So, decent. Good efforts, Joe. So, yeah, Sarah gave me a shout out this morning. So that's what it's about. So, yeah, you can win an MP40 for as little as, I think it's 49p, 99p. So, there you go. Good effort. Hope it goes well, mate. Seriously do. Who else got
I
any?
wonder how that works. Does it stay at 49p, or does the more people that enter it goes up, or what?
No, it stays until he's sold all the tickets, and then he does a raffle, a bit like these Ferraris you can win for a
Oh,
penny.
right.
Yeah, nobody's doing it though. So, and yeah, he's right. It is an expensive hobby. So,
Well, Thingy Bob tried it, didn't he? Someone did try it a couple of years ago. I forget who it was now. Someone did try it. But, like you say, mate, why not? It's good fun, isn't it? And you might win something.
You might win something for next to nothing. Exactly that. So,
Happy
yeah,
day.
fair play to him for doing that. All the best, Joe. Hope it goes well. What else we got in here? Gary Neal, good morning. Gary, hope you're good. Hope your tank's well, mate. Matty boy. Big shout out to Matt, actually. He's helping me with the next meetup at Finest at the beginning of July, which is 5th of July.
Why do you need help? What do you need help for?
Beyond
I need a lot of help, trust me. Especially dealing with you and Ronald on Fridays.
Well, you got a lot on, mate. Got a lot on, yeah?
Yeah, got a lot on. No, cheers, Matt. Hope you and the missus are well. What else we got in here? CNC Reefs, good morning. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining. Hope you're good. Hope you had a good week. What else we got? Reefy Reese. Hello.
Morning, mate. Reese boy.
John Costello in the chat as well. Good morning, John.
I always want to sing Alison when I hear his name come up.
I think you should answer the phone live on speaker next time.
I'm going to go and launch it out the door. Wait there.
Morning, John. Who else we got in here? Gaz's Reef. Morning, Gaz. Hope you're good. Is it Tank Tour today? You'll have to remind me. So many things going off on YouTube at the minute. Struggle to keep up. We've got Jerkin the Gherkin. Love that name. Good morning, Gherkins.
It's fucking ringing.
Now, calm down.
Who was it?
Who was it?
Fuck knows. I didn't answer it.
It's going to ring again in a minute now.
Anyway.
No, I've launched it now. It's gone.
Morning, Jamie. Hope you're good.
Morning, Jay.
Joining us on Friday, mate. Hope you're settling in well. Good effort on Friday. Good impact. Good effort. Ronald is with us as well. Good morning.
Ronald.
There we go. Happy birthday. Yes. Right. Corey's here. Morning, Corey.
Corey.
Morning, mate.
From Germany. Hope you're good, mate. What else we got in here? A few birthday shout-outs for John Boy. Melinda's in the house. Good morning.
Morning, darling.
As Dong said on Friday, is it a rat or is it I can't remember what else he said. A teddy bear.
What's that about? What is that about? What's he talking about?
Don't go there. It's Sunday morning. Morning. Rob's with us as well.
Morning, Rob.
Morning, Robert.
Morning, Robert. Nick and Stacey in the chat, as always. Nice to see you in here. Thank you very much. Who else we got in here? Liam.
Good morning.
Yes,
morning.
I don't understand that. A bit cryptic for me. I'm assuming
Queens.
Yes, Queens. Sorry, boys.
I think he's calling all of us girlies.
Okay, not sure.
Wonder how he's. I'd be interested to know how's your clown tank getting on.
Yeah, let us know.
I've had a chance to call him, speak to him, or nothing. I've been so mental busy, but I'll be very interested to know.
Yeah, come on, Liam. Let us know. Unless he's not watching because he's doing something else. Hence the sorry boys. I don't know.
Here's a question, right? Does anyone else know? Any one of us else know anyone that's ever kept a clown tank?
Me.
Who has?
I have.
Oh, have you? What size aquarium?
Very aggressive.
In what size tank was yours?
6x4.
Blimey. What sort of?
It was in with 3 purples, and he used to bash the purples up, and they're quite aggressive as well.
Anyway, on that note,
Beautiful.
morning, Ryan. Hope you're good, mate. Some nice pictures of his tank he's been posted on Instagram recently. Very nice, very colourful. My lot, hope you're good. What's we got in here? A few people chatting amongst themselves as always. Morning, Dave's Reef. Hope you're good. Thanks for joining. Benji's here. Here we go.
Morning, Benji.
Morning. Here we go.
Sexy pants.
That's the one. Dino's Reef. That's a new one. Nice avatar. Morning. Thanks for joining
Dino.
in. Sylvester. Hope you're good.
That's always a good avatar, Sylvester one.
It is. Have you ever had an eel? Ever fancied keeping one?
An eel?
I don't mean in the tank.
I had a snowflake years ago.
I know exactly how you think. The minute I said it, then I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah,
You had a snowflake, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, they're no good in an SPS tank, mate, because the amount of food you have to put in is just, it's pointless.
Okay.
I would love garden eels because we saw them at that reef meet right up north, and they're wicked. Talk about
reef experience.
Talk about the weird and wonderful in a fish tank, just poking their head out the substrate, mate. They
like you, mate.
Thank you. Yes, if anyone's wondering about my barnet today, yes, I have had a start this morning. So bedhead in full operation. Thank you.
Oh dear. Morning, Mo. Hope you're good, mate. Nice to see you in the chat. Morning. Hope you're good, Dan.
Dan.
Good.
Morning.
Guys, he's got his tank tour 8 o'clock. Be there to see the flow. It's going to be ripping.
Is he on Ron's tonight? Is he?
Yeah, he's on the runs at 8 o'clock. Yes.
Is it live or no?
Don't know. Sorry, Ron. You'll be shaking your head right now. I know you will. You said it on Friday. Is it live? Let us know. Let's have a look.
Has he done one before, Gaza?
It came on here. He's come on here and talked about his tank with us.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Clown King, it's not live. No, it's not live. So it's a recorded one, so we can edit it. Yeah. Clown Tang is mint so well. He's keeping him in check, not bothering anybody.
There we go.
Lovely. Yeah.
You
need to post something. You need to post something about your tank, Liam. I've not seen it for a while. Yeah. Since we were, me and Drippy were pulling the sticker off the back in the freezing cold. Yeah. Oh God, never forget that. Morning, Lee. Hope you're good.
Morning, mate.
And a few more birthday shouts out to John Boy. So, Ian, that rockscape kind of looks the same as it did last Sunday.
Yeah.
And forgive me, but weren't you the one that said this time tomorrow it's going to look different?
Yeah.
Care to explain?
Yeah, it's a bit of a story about it. But firstly, I just want to say condolences. Vince lost his dad at the beginning of the week.
This is Vince Thomas of Aquarium Connections, UK Trial.
Yeah. Obviously, I was going to go down and see him, but obviously it's a bit of a delicate time for him. So, condolences to him and all the family. So, I haven't really had a chance to get down and get rocked, but sad as it is. So, nothing's changed, boys, apart from my silicates have gone 0 again.
Amazing!
Oh. Okay.
Till the next test, and they're up again.
And what are you using to test them with?
Well, I've done ICPs, obviously ICPs, and obviously got test kits as well. So, there you go.
Why don't you just leave it?
Because I can't.
Well, he's got to right now because he can't get to the live rock, so just leave it.
But it's all right because he's got a very good reason why he has to leave it, so he can just about manage that mentally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But listen, not anything, mate. If this hobby is hard enough as it is, so you've got to do whatever you've got to do to find your happiness within it, mate. And if you don't mind ripping that up and starting again, all the rest of it, who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
If anything, mate, it might even help someone who might be watching one of these. I mean, I very much doubt it, but anyone that's new to the hobby and sees a pretty manufactured rockscape and thinks, lovely.
It's actually a lovely scape. It's hard to see, obviously, at the moment because everything's just.
Paul Hughes made me laugh last Sunday. He refers to them as cake stands. And I thought that's a really good way of
it is
like cake stands.
They are actually. Listen, they're lovely, but like we said last week, it's 12 to 16 months before they become basically usable, which is too long for me, mate.
I'd have thought somebody with all your knowledge, Ian, would have known that.
Yeah, well, yes and no. You'd like to try and test yourself, didn't you?
Of course you do. Yeah, of course you do, mate.
But yeah, like I said, 10, 12 kilos of media later, and it's not going great.
What's rested on the brace bar behind your head?
KH keeper, the acid. I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Hydrochloric acid for the KH keeper.
Still using that? Still running it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Perfect. Spot on. Love it.
You think sometimes...
You got one as well, wouldn't you, Tom?
It's in a box, mate.
I thought yours was running.
No, I run the Tridents, and the Tridents, there's a collection of reefing equipment that's about to go in the bin, the skimmer, and both the Tridents at the minute, because I'm just falling out of the technology of this hobby. I just call it user error. People in comments, well, you don't know what he's doing. I probably don't, but I don't understand how something so expensive constantly needs tinkering with, calibration, and then if you're testing it with a titration test, then you may as well just use a titration test in the first place. Anyway.
There's a few on the market now, aren't there?
There is. Yeah, there is.
The DD do one, don't they?
You're laughing. Just melt your tank live. That'd be entertaining.
If that's not Rob to a T, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. He's chuckling to himself right now.
Yeah, of course he is.
Definitely.
Of course he is.
Yeah, that's a sensible place to keep it. No, but to be fair to Lee, we do love to chase numbers, and I agree. And I've been guilty of that. I mean, the main reason I set the Trident up originally was when me and Drippy Bollocks went to America, because obviously Kaz was feeding the fish and whatnot. I just wanted to keep an eye on my alkalinity. But you get the obviously I haven't got the ABC reagents, which I know a lot of people watching have. And shout out to Harry, because I think Harry Spiritual Reefer is going to be a UK distributor or stockist. I saw something the other day, so I hope you are, Harry. I'm definitely going to be.
What's that for? What
the Trident ABC reagents?
That's quite a thing, that isn't it? To get them in regular to this country because of one price, but that's fair play to him. That's
what I'm saying. Big shout out to him. Let me know if I don't think he's watching. I don't think he's in the chat comments. Somebody else might, unless I've dreamt it, but I'm sure I saw something the other day on Instagram or whatever. So yeah, curious to know if he does, because I'm going to be giving it a go. But what I was going to say was, obviously you get the reagent kit that's meant to be, is it a 2-month supply or something? You get a little bottle of the calibration liquid that you punch into your Trident and set all the parameters, and it's just gone out of whack again. But incidentally, it went out of whack when somebody posted something on Facebook the other day about the app update on the Apex, and since it's had the app's changed design, or whatever you want to call it, I've had issues with both of them. Coincidental? Don't know, but yeah.
You know what, mate? I think it comes back to the age old. Like, use what you love. Yeah. Use what works for you, and if it don't work, do what does work for you. Do you know what I mean? And opinions of everyone, they're like arseholes. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got one. I naturally went back to manual testing months ago. I just preferred it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying listen, loads of people got Tridents that rave about them. I might go back to it one day, but I just got to the point where I was just like, if you don't really fully trust something, if you don't know where a number is, and I'm not a number chaser by any means, but you just sort of, it's nice to know where you are with your tank, because otherwise you feel a little bit naked about it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't trust it enough, and I know some people will disagree with me in the comments because they use dosing pumps based on the Trident readings, but I don't trust it enough to then have a rule, or whatever you want to call it, where it then decides to increase a parameter based on that Trident.
Don't want to fully automate it.
No, so I'll use it to tell me, a range. But like when we were in the States, I mixed a 2-litre jug of alkalinity in the kitchen on a magnetic stirrer, and I just said to Kaz every couple of days, just pour me 100 ml or whatever, and I was just gauging it that way, just to stop it from dropping. but I don't think I'd ever get to a point where it was fully automated. No. Anyway,
I think it's a little bit more worrying if you're keeping acros, because I think they start dying 2 weeks before you see that they're starting to die. Do you know what I mean? Or 3 weeks.
Yeah, especially sensitive acros like Tenius and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Smultons as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So manual testing, I just listen. Each to their own, mate. Each to their own.
Yes, so Harry is going to be stocking it. Shout out, yeah.
Brilliant.
Good,
that's
good,
a right
good.
little. That's a right coup for him. That is. What fair play to him.
It is. Yeah, it is. A few conversations going on in the comments. People are asking you about your silicates again, Ian. I have high silicates, Ian. Why are you worried about them?
Diatoms are everywhere. Loads of diatoms all over the rockwork.
Diatoms or diatoms?
You know what I mean. You say tomato, I say tomato.
Oh, stop. Oh, here you go. Telling you. Stop ripping him out. Get on with the tank.
Get on with it.
Just get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yeah, it's lovely until you've got nice brown turd looking acros. They're still growing though, madly enough.
Yeah, but yours look like that normally anyway, don't they?
Oh, come on, mate.
Oh, dear.
Do you know what, though? To be fair, Tom, you went down that rabbit hole with silicates.
I did.
You went out and bought something the Nazis would have used to launch the V2 rocket back in the 40s. Do you know what I mean? This setup that he had was like, I don't know. Oh, mate. I said to him, Tom, I think you're taking this a bit too seriously, mate. I was like, I think you're going down a rabbit.
What was it?
Mate, he had his normal RODI unit, which was like 7-stage or 5-stage. Then he bought another 3 or 4-stage thing on the end of that, and then something else. Then he bought £100 Hannah egg with the testers were 50 quid or
they were expensive. Yeah,
you went down, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Listen, Rodders, I get it. You do what makes you happy.
Yeah, cool. Was you using the? It's hard to get the SI resin now, isn't it? At the moment,
very hard. The one that's really fishy. That one.
Yeah.
That stinks. That stuff.
Yeah, horrible.
I could get you some of that stuff real cheap.
Scraping,
please, mate.
Silicates do seem to be talked about quite a lot of this hobby, as in ICP results, don't they? Quite often you hear people saying they've got really high silicate levels. Can you honestly say that's detrimental to your tank, other than nuisance algae, though?
I mean, yeah, I suppose the corals use it, don't they?
Yeah.
But then algae and everything else uses it as well. So,
what it is, it's very difficult to sit and enjoy your reef tank when it is not looking its best.
Yeah, I hate it, mate.
We all have a vision, and when it's not that vision, it's as frustrating as anything. I had it with when I gravel vac to my substrate for ages because I was just going through a thing where I thought I'm just going to see what it's like without water changes. And algae and in the minute I gravel back to my substrate, none of it's grown back. Some of it has, and I just leave it on the back because I've got an algae blenny that, by the way, one of the greatest things I've ever bought for my reef tank was that they are brilliant. And I used to go into AAC and ask people, you got an algae blenny? Do they actually eat algae? I know that. Mate, he's munching away. They're brilliant.
Algae blenny or just a normal brownie green one?
Just a really ugly one. It looks.
I was going to say it looks just like Drippy.
It's like Simpson.
I was going to say Rob. It reminds me a little bit of Rob. It looks grumpy. It's quite ugly, you know. But yeah, the algae thing. I like things to look quite authentic, right? And my cleanup crew, I don't want to starve them. Do you know what I mean? They're all there to do a job, and yeah, all these little weird and wonderfuls, mate. I love it. It's not all about the huge fish and the beautiful corals at the moment for me. I just love the weird and wonderfuls as well. Yeah. But anyway, going back to corals.
What's Gaza saying? I always said, do I need an apex? You haven't got an apex, have you, Rod? It's just a KH keeper. You got an apex? Yes, no? No apex. Just KH keeper. Okay.
You'll hear a lot of people say the minute they got an apex, their reefing changed and went up, or their enjoyment, their time was cut in half. Just each for their own, mate. I think if you've never had one, you're not missing it, are you? Because you've never had one.
I just find that they're designed to make life easier. But from my personal experience, and again, only personal, I just constantly seem to be having to faff around with it or calibrate it, which I'm kind of like, well, hang on a minute. I've paid all this money for it to make my life easier, but it's actually creating more work for me. So
but you're talking more the Trident, aren't you? Not the actual Apex itself.
Yeah, but it's even the Apex. The salinity probe is never the salinity probe is never on point.
I mean, if you trust all of that,
you have to calibrate the exactly. But so why buy it? Why sell it?
Because it makes money. Because it makes money.
Exactly.
And
all about that. Exactly.
You know, if you speak to anyone that's in the know or been in this hobby any length of time, or any expert that runs a coral farm, none of it is none of it is top-notch quality that you'd find in any, So you have to just find the best thing that you can afford and kind of take a rough reading off it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Hannah,
like Mo's saying here about using the ICP for the calibration. Yeah, I know you can do that. I'm just a little bit again with the ICPs. I'm still waiting on ICP that I sent off. Well, to know it's been received. That I sent.
Is this ATI? Is it?
Yeah.
Seems to be a lot of problems with ATI ICPs at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it pains me to say it, but I do think. But then, do you do the Elements one, so you get it back quicker? But do you trust the Elements results? So it's a bit like, I think just titration testing, really, for me.
I think it also comes back to how literally are you taking the results you get from these ICPs.
Yeah,
I know the time is good, like the time you get around and you get, but how literally is someone really taking these ICP results?
Do you know what I've always wondered? Does the sample degrade in transit?
No, I asked Esan that from
Esan, didn't you? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and he said no, not really, not at all, not at all.
Okay.
But the thing that concerns me with what Esan was saying is that the method of how they're all set up will differ from one brand to another.
Because
one user as well, even.
He said the machine, the ICP, the machine is the ICP, but what sets
at Vince's.
Mm-hmm.
But what sets his testing apart, Rodders, is his methodology. So you can buy an ICP machine, but it's the method that goes within that machine that is testing the water. So if you've got someone that's not 100% as educated as Esan, or the next guy, or someone more educated than Esan, then it comes down to his methodology. He's going to deem your results that you're going to get back and take as gospel for your tank.
I remember Vince also saying to me, it's all about how often it's maintained as well.
There you go.
Vince was saying to me, in the UK, there's only one company really that maintains all the ICP machines. Because obviously they're not just used for aquariums, they're used for loads of things. But I think he was saying like the spare parts are like 15 grand every time you service it or something silly like that.
Can you imagine?
It's absolutely ludicrous.
Now it does also make a difference, I do believe, in how quickly you get those test results back. Because if something is mentally wrong, i.e. heavy metals or whatever, obviously from the minute you sent that water off, if it takes 3 weeks to get a test back, well, you've had a month then where your water has been like that. Do you know what I mean?
But I think this is pushing us back down a road that we talked about on Friday, and that's water changing, because I've been trying to force myself not to do one, because historically I've always done water changes on all my tanks, ideally weekly or fortnightly. But I've not been doing it because I've been trying to chase the numbers. I've been trying to get certain elements or minor trace elements in certain ranges, and I've not lost anything, not to the detriment of the tank. Doesn't look its best, but I think going on to what Drippy said, especially like, what's the old saying, dilution, pollution and all that. I think if you're doing regular water changes, you're probably less likely to have issues, aren't you?
Of course.
With pollutants.
Are you, because you was going to go down the in and out method, wasn't you, at one point?
Heavy in, heavy out.
Water change method.
Oh. Well, I've got it here, the Kamoa one. I was showing Ronald and Jamie on...
What, in a box? Is it in a box?
Of course it is.
Kamoa one. The Kamoa one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never set it up.
No, it doesn't look like it's been used. No.
It's like a lot of Tom stuff, isn't it?
I know. What's
definitely all the gear, no idea. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to use it or not. I don't know.
I suppose it's space as well. Like, you've got to have somewhere for the containers, haven't you?
And money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the vat in the garage, which holds, I think it's 500 litres that holds. So I could
that
pick
dose
one
where would you be doing it for? Your main tank or for this one?
the one downstairs, I think. Yeah.
So how far's the run?
This tank is so easy to just work on, you know, because of the height bit for one of it. It's so much easier to get into it and service it and clean it. And obviously the ironing board is just one piece of rock, so you can get round it and clean the substrate all the way around it when a gravel vac. So that's not an issue. The issue is downstairs because I mean when you're doing 200-300 litre water, well not 200, probably about 200 litre water change. It's the RO, it's the salt, it's the heating it up, and then it's the pumping it. You know, Drippy's done it with me, haven't you? When you've been up here, mate, you know what it's like. It's pretty much a good 4-hour job. Do it properly anyway. Half a day.
And you put it off because it's so much of a faff.
Correct.
Well, how much money does water changing every week cost you a month?
Well, I was going through a bucket of salt every 2 to 3 weeks.
So 80 quid, 70 quid?
Yeah. 70 quid, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm at a crossroads because the modern reef I'm running on the DT has been running 3 months now. Have I seen a I can't say I've seen a difference because it's really the only thing that I've been running on the tank, so I can't really compare it against anything that was on it before.
Well, you wasn't running anything before, was you? So you must have seen a difference or differences, surely.
Yeah, I've definitely seen difference. Well, I've got stability for one, which is obviously what.
Were you on calcium active before then?
No, I didn't put any corals in. I started to stock it, and I was doing weekly water change. I started to stock it. And I was manually dosing a lot of trace elements based on ICPs, and then I just put them on a Reefing. So I thought, do you know what? What's all this hype? Let's see. You know, you want the best for your tank, don't you? If you can afford it.
Yeah, of course.
And at the time, I put it on, and it's just getting to the point now with having the chat on Friday with Don and Ron and Jamie about water changing. And I think there's something. Almost like you get a bit of satisfaction when you've done a water change because you just know mentally,
in your head.
You know in your head exactly that it's better.
It's clean water.
Yeah. So I think there's an element of that, but I think the auto water change would definitely take the husbandry aspect that's been putting me off doing it as often.
I think Benji's done it, hasn't he?
Don't know.
I'm sure Ben's done it on his new system.
Yeah. Right, we'll just jump into the comments because a few people are saying a few things here. Melinda's commenting on your starfish drip.
She's seen it up close and personal, so she knows.
Let's have a look. Biotic fights. Oh, there you go. You got some of this, haven't you?
Do you know what? They've just sent me a little care package last week. So, I'm going to start putting that in then. That's interesting.
Yes.
Funny thing is, Rodders ain't really got any silicate problems. He's just after more free shit. That's the funny thing.
Stop telling everyone.
Yeah,
That's the last time I'm sending you any freak free now, Drip.
So yeah, he's on about the silicate remover. I think he got it from Osmotics. That's about a 5 litre one. Melinda's dosing silicates. That's the up and down levels driving them. Let them stabilise. The algae will grow and take over. You're getting told here. I think you need to listen to Uncle Mo, Ian.
Do you know what it is? You know when you've been doing it for so long, and I've had so many lovely tanks over the years, and I look at this one and I think, mate, what is going on? It's like I've gone backwards, mate.
Of course it is. I totally get that's how you would feel. Yeah, I totally get it.
Well,
it's disheartening when you get up in the morning or like even in the evening, you know, like normally I'd sit there with the glasses on and go, oh, that looks lovely. That's growing nice. That looks, and everything is, but everything's just brown.
You know what it is? As reefers, we're absolute suckers for expectation.
Yeah, of course. Do you know what's funny?
Go on.
When you go to someone's house and they go, oh yeah, my tank's not looking the best at the moment. You think, mate, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then you always think that about your own. And then someone else looks at it and goes, but it's amazing. You're like, but it's not.
Yeah, totally.
You're never satisfied.
Exactly that. But then that also leads to adding a bit, taking a bit away, adding this, and then you're always like, do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Totally.
I know all of this. This is the annoying thing. You've been doing it for so long.
I know.
What's Corey saying? Silica does not negatively affect corals, so not really a problem. I would say it's just an indicator in your tank that the biome isn't healthy. It very well be the ceramics. Yes.
This is why I'm just thinking, get rid, live rock that's cured. Away we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing's really stuck down properly yet, so
it's your tank. So,
well, on a plus note, you'll get some sponges growing. Most saying get a big green leather in there.
no thanks. No thanks. Played that game with all the coral warfare, mate. All the chemicals in there, having to dose carbon because one thing's stinging another, and it's just crazy.
Morning, Mike. I found I fretted more when I had an Apex, got rid of it ages ago. It's far too expensive for 90s technology.
It's interesting people say that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes the more you know.
Well, I was thinking this, like, honestly, after Friday's stream with Dong and the Water Change Brigade, and I've always been pro water change, always, up until I just thought, with the Modern Reef, I'm just going to dial it back and look at ICPs, like I keep saying, and trying to get certain parameters in certain ranges. And when I think back to my first SPS sort of experience with the tank I had downstairs, the old 8-footer, that was on a Deltec PF 501, I can't remember what it was, calcium reactor, with a Waypro, is it Waypro pH controller and a CO2 bottle. That was it. There was no Calquasser, there was no Apex, there was no Trident, and it was on Gen 2 Radeons with disco mode, if you can remember.
if you think of a coral farm, or if you follow a coral farm that you love and think that they're amazing and all the rest of it, who obviously have acros and take photos of their acros, and we look at them online and go, they're amazing. Coral farms are always doing water changes because they're always sending frags out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they're always water changing. It might not be a on purpose, like they do it as a thing, but naturally as they're taking water out of it, so they're all water changing. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we saw the scale of Meckley's water changes in his thing, and that was just on one of the vats.
You mean when I got sacked 3 times?
You did get sacked twice. I'll be fair to you. You got sacked twice.
What's Liam saying? No, but when something goes wrong and you're not at home, you're able to say, turn your skimmer off whilst bubbles are pouring. Yeah, I get that.
You can buy the float switch that goes in the skimmer cup though. Cheap enough. Just shuts the skimmer off when it overflows.
Yeah.
Drill it into the lid. It's pretty simple to do.
What's Rob saying about ICPs? Broad strokes for ICP results. Trends are better than reaching to point sampling. Yeah, listen to the doctor. Yeah.
I wonder who Rob uses. I wonder who Rob ICPs with.
Oh, hang on here. What we got here? No water changes is like sitting on a plane for 12 hours with that recycled air. You can live with it, but a water change is like when they open the door and fresh air comes in.
Fair point.
There you go. It's like, there's some analogies coming out here. It's like police speed cameras. They have to be recalibrated after every incident. Well, they should be. Yeah. I was only doing 35, officer.
Hang on, Liam's put up there. Lost some amphias. Yes, I did. When the butterflies and the potters went, I did lose. I think I lost 2. So I think I'm down to 7.
Oh. They're so finicky, amphias.
They're normally up here.
So finicky.
There you go.
We're in the middle of
birthday boy. Simple reefing lets you enjoy your
You know what? I 100% agree with that because the most nicest and loveliest tanks I've ever had have just been simple. Calcium reactor, you know.
Correct.
Just simple. Just set and forget.
But don't you think we live in a world where social media is everywhere, right? I listen, it's great because I occasionally upload stuff, but it does my head in, right? If it ended tomorrow, the world would be so much a better place, right? Although you
have to talk to each other in person.
Well, yeah. But although it's nice to see what Americans doing, when you see someone else's tank and they're, I run Apex, blah, 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 it sort of brainwashes you into believing that you must do this shit then. When really,
the other thing I think it does is it takes your eyes away from the actual glass box in the first place. You stop looking at things. Well, you're looking at that rather than the tank, aren't you? You're looking at an app.
But listen, each to their own.
Yeah, each to their own. I'd be interested to know if people in the viewers, in the comments who runs Apexes or automatic or automated, should I say, systems? Do you think they're as popular as they used to be? Because I think there's less people buying them nowadays. I mean, I'm not a shop, I can't comment on sales, but
I just think it's because it's become a lot more expensive.
They've
become
second-hand market as well. Second-hand market,
or electric.
Yeah, but
true. Yeah.
The trouble is with second-hand reef equipment, you don't know when it's going to go wrong, mate, and you've got no comeback, have you? If it goes wrong,
says the man that bought a second-hand Royal Exclusive skimmer.
Yeah, but they don't go wrong, mate. They don't. I've never had one go wrong. You've had Red Dragon pumps, but skimmers, mate, they've always been bulletproof for me, especially the AC ones.
Yeah. Well, I would always, I would very, very hesitantly offer advice to anyone, but the Reef Oxo skimmer that I've had is, when people talk about this and that, and I've said it on here before, silent and just fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
Reef skimmer has been one of the best things I've ever bought.
Yeah,
that's a good question, actually. Sorry, a good question. Anybody watching, anything that you would swear by that you own product-wise, throw it in the comments. We'll discuss that this morning.
Talking of products, a little bit on the NIOS, the dosing system. Spot on. All the ICPs, all the levels have come back.
I've seen recently, and it's not that I don't go fishing for anything, right? I just have whatever comes across my path. Well, that sounds a bit wrong. I've seen people struggle with the Red Sea 4-part.
Oh, with the calcium, because you base it on calcium level, don't you? Yeah.
I've seen a few people struggling with that recently. Over the last couple of weeks, I've seen various things on Instagram where people have been struggling with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't knock the ion B, mate. It's growing corals, so.
No, that's just silicates growing corals, mate.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's I've still got so much left in the 5-litre bottles. It's unreal. I've had to dial it back a couple of times on the Mobius.
I think Apex is great if you travel. Also, trying any type of spawn is very hard with an Apex, but I do think they are way overpriced for the tech that they have inside them. Yeah.
Well, Rob said something, and Rob says something that is so spot on, that it's the livestock that should be the most expensive thing in the hobby, not the fucking dry goods, not the electrical shit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Mm. Absolutely spot on.
When you see some of this stuff and you look how it's put together and what it's put together with, you just think, how are they charging that?
Well, I saw...
yeah, exactly.
Someone said to us, the Milwaukee digital refractometer, that if you take that apart, it's all Hanna components, right? But yet that is half the price of the Hanna one, or a third of the price of the Hanna one.
Yeah.
Just for an example. Do you know what I mean? What is that about?
True.
There you go.
Let's have a look what else we've got here. My bubble game was I wouldn't buy another one. There you go.
I love them, mate.
I have Alcatronic, Dosatronic, and Neptune Apex.
Is that all?
I was going to say.
A lot of people have trouble with those, though, don't they? The Alcatronics. They don't wipe the little SD cards all the time. Ben's always saying to me, I've been on the phone to tech, been on emails to support. The SD card's gone again. I've had to get another one. And just seems like a headache, mate.
But that's what I'm saying, though. It pushes you in a direction where you actually end up spending more time on the technology than you do just enjoying your tank, looking at the animals in your tank, whether they're healthy or not, and just using your own eye, which I think is a bit dangerous because it's almost like you're letting the success of your tank or the future success of your tank, you're giving it the responsibility to something else that I think really you should retain that yourself, and you should be the one that says, I need to do this.
I had a conversation with a geezer in AAC about 2 months ago, and he was looking at buying a new return pump for his system, right? But he was going to determine which pump to get, going off the software, because he could change this or this or that. And I just thought, my God, buying a return pump off the software. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I might just set and forget. Do you know what I mean? Who wants to constantly tinker with their return pump? I mean, Jesus Christ.
And that for me is, Ian, why the calcium reactor wins, because it is pretty much set and forget.
Have you ever run What's the one that I just got rid
He's
of?
never run in his life. Come on.
I knew you were going to say that.
What's the Twin Tech? Did you ever run the Twin Tech?
No. I've heard they were a bit temperamental. And again, one thing I do know about those is people do tend to buy them, and they can be oversized for the tank. So they're too big, is what I'm saying.
Surely you can turn it down though, no?
You can, but
because it adjusts the water, CO2 and drip rate
it
and
does.
stuff, doesn't
Yeah,
it, automatically?
It does. I just know a few people that have had a few issues with them, but
I know Distarco I used to have issues with all the time. Just the alarms, mate. Never again. Honestly, mate. The worst thing I ever bought they were.
I just used, like I say, I used the WayPro pH controller with an open solenoid,
Mate,
and I just changed the pH probe every couple of months. Yeah. I just bought a brand new one off eBay.
Yeah, they're so cheap, weren't they? Yeah.
Few people not agreeing with you on the Royal Exclusive skimmer, brothers.
Oh, mate, I love it, mate.
Corey's saying he's Tunzi Osmolator 3, hands down, amazing bit of kit. That's his favourite bit of kit.
Is that the ATO?
I don't know.
Is that the one that lights up like a Christmas tree?
Tunes.
I'm sure that's... Is that an ATO, the Osmolator?
Yeah, it is, Osmolator, yeah. It's the one. I'm sure that's the one with the 3 lights, a little blue and black box. Never got on with them either.
Yeah, ATO. 200 quid? Is that how much they are? Wow.
I know a lot of people that run them for an ATO and rave about them, to be fair.
I think this is a dig at the Stratton here. We live in a world where an LED light for your fish tank is okay to be £1,000 plus.
Well, there's a
good reason for that though. It's the main thing, really, isn't it?
Mm.
It's the main thing that keeps your corals alive.
Well, you could put a metal halide above it for a lot less. Anyway.
Yeah, and then have the heat and.
Yeah, true. Guys are saying max spec skimmer for the win. Do you know what? Ron recommended this to me the other day when I was saying I was going to throw the Nios in the bin out of this tank behind me.
One skimmer I'll be interested to see, and I haven't watched a review yet, is that new Aquaforest one we saw at Reefapalooza. That'll be interesting when people start.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's out yet. I think it's still in its experimental
stage.
Yeah.
I've had a few good skimmers over the years. The Ultra Reef ones are pretty good. The UKS skimmers, they're pretty good.
I've never owned one, but I've seen them.
Yeah, they're well made.
The one was the really thick, solid body, aren't they?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, white, solid, chunky bottom.
Yeah.
They're really well made. Vince sells them, doesn't he, I think?
Yeah. Alan, what's Alan? Morning, Alan. Hope you're good. Is Chubby Brown coming on yet, Alan? Have you sorted it out?
You read this. Thanks, Al. Cheers, mate. That's how to return.
Yeah. But they are great. They went out to avoid disasters. I think Ben's talking about Apex again. What's Corey saying? The original AC Royal exclusive pumps and the Speedy 3 amazing. Not a fan of the Red Dragon pumps. Me neither. That makes two of us.
There you go, look.
Yeah? What is working? Yeah?
Looks shit, mate.
It is shit. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, Jip. You need to put on a biz on that.
I know, yeah. Sorry about that, Rob. Sorry, Rob.
What are you playing at? I reckon Rob's could probably pump from his house to yours, to be fair. I'm back again.
Probably, yeah. Probably pump it back into the fucking seat where it is.
JC's Reef. I still manually test every Sunday. Alcatronic just to give me peace of mind between tests. Yeah.
I wish I had time, mate.
I do test on a weekend. Mainly nutrients, to be fair. Phosphate and nitrate I do on a weekend. Alkalinity I tend to do 2 or 3 times a week with the Salifert. Again, I think a lot of it is time, though, isn't it? But I think you've also got to remind yourself that you've got to put the time in, haven't you, to enable to get.
You'd find the time to go to the shop and buy something new to bring home to put in your tank, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? And by the time you've done that, you could have tested the tank 10 times over.
Yeah, definitely.
We're all guilty of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can all sit here and say it. We're all guilty of it. You know. Do you know what? Look, Peter Newson's. I met Peter Newson yesterday in AAC. What a
lovely geezer he is, mate.
Oh, mate, what a top guy that man is. We had a right chat about fish and that. Just standing there, it was brilliant. What a top bloke he is.
Morning, Jay. Time's the main thing. You need no shortcuts. Even through, yeah, couldn't agree more.
Very true.
Very true. My second-hand D&D ATO is still going. But his brand new MP40s have never skipped a beat. Got to get it in there, Gaz. Dino's Reef just bought the Tunzi Osmolator 3 Nano. It's been brilliant so far.
Okay. I think one of their, I don't know if it was the 1 or the 2 or what model it was. I think one of the complaints was it was slightly noisy, right. But I think they've corrected that as they've brought out new models. But I've never had one. But it was the only reason I haven't got one is probably because I won that 3-in-1 Red Sea thing.
The pump's tiny on it, on that Tunzi
Is it?
Tiny little pump, yeah.
But they got a good name, haven't they, Tunzi?
Yeah, listen, it's premium German built, isn't it? So.
Oh, Johnny's getting a copper band for his birthday.
Hey,
Mantis Reef, great birthday present to myself.
Yeah, nice.
Good.
Funny enough, I was on the phone to Rob the Helicopter yesterday for over an hour, and we started speaking about that Mantis Reefs and the lengths of quarantine that he goes to with any fish that you ask him to get. And sounds an interesting guy. Maybe he's someone that would be great to get on the stream, Tom. I mean, I don't know him, but I'm happy to reach out and try and contact him and see. You know
who he is, don't you?
He's Mantis Reef.
Yes, it's Tom Glazer, who was the lad that was working in the shop with your guy that you put me onto that now works for Aqua.
What, Luke?
Yes.
What, he works where? At Aqua.
He worked with Luke at the shop that you sent me to a year ago, the reef shop. Yeah.
Yeah, and the geezer painting the egg crate when we was in there.
Correct.
Is it really?
No. He doesn't work at Aqua with Luke. No, he worked at the marine shop that you sent me to that Luke was at. Yes,
right.
There were two of them. Yeah, and I was talking to him about Aquapora because he was more into sticks than Luke was. Luke was more into LPS. Yeah,
I've never met him, but I know you mean.
Literally a month or so after that, Luke they shut it down. Obviously, so the guy didn't want him to do any marine anymore. So it was costing him. Well, he was having to do was it a VAT return? Or I can't remember. Something anyway, financial. So they went the separate ways, and Luke went to Aqua, and Tom's been doing his own thing from his house.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, he's been on with Steve with East Coast Reefer as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh right. Didn't know that.
Yeah. He was helping the guy who was selling frags from his house where I got flatworm from.
Hang on, who was it?
Total Sustainable Corals. Yes. Anyway, you know the blue, like the blue ARC firework or whatever it's called, the blue acro I've got with the gold polyps on the back wall.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from.
The same as the one I've got.
Similar. Yeah, mine's just a lot more vibrant, obviously. 17 tanks. Yes, he has got a lot of tanks.
It's a small world, isn't it? That
yeah.
Rob was talking about him, and it's a geezer that I'm fucking. Yeah, how weird is that?
Yeah. Morning, Ellie. Hope you're good.
Morning, Gil.
Morning.
I think Tom Mantis Reefs needs a proper big up. Yes, I think Drippy's right. We should get him on.
I'll get him on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay.
I'll tell him. Listen, look, Pelagic Swimmer's been absolutely mugging you off on live streams, mate. You need to come set the record straight.
Yeah, defend yourself.
Yeah.
Oh dear. What's we got here? Okay, folks, the other half wants to spend my tank and fish funding money. Hard to say no. Catch you later on. I want to see that tank if it's got that many angels in it, because I do like angels. I know you like your angels.
What's his name? Does anyone know that geezer's name?
Oh, he said it the other day. I think it was Friday. Apologies. I think it's Tony. Might be wrong. Don't know.
That's a man with no shin bones, isn't it?
So we talked about Ian.
I knew Rod was like that one.
We talked about Ian and his silicate. Oh, Terry, thank you.
Terry.
I thought it was a T. Thank you.
Tony. All right, Tony.
Yeah, that was Tony. Drip, you normally buy everything. You normally buy something, every week from AAC. Anything?
Yeah, I bought Cobra Pods.
There we go.
Cobra Pods, live brine shrimp, and some blades for my Tunzi
Algae scraper
thing. Yeah.
No livestock.
Okay, mate. Nothing. Still got the UV running. Spoke to Rob. Going to leave that running for a month, just to try and be safer in terms of when I think about adding some more fish after what happened to the butterflies. Sadly, mantis reefs is something that I will look at in terms of adding fish. Now, what I don't, he could do all the quarantining in the world if it was ick that killed, because none of the other fish were showing signs of ick bar the yellow longnose. So I don't know, by buying a fish from Mantis Reefs and I put it in here, where obviously, people say once it's in a tank's in a tank,
Yeah.
I'm not the most educated man on that. So that'll be something that I could maybe have a chat with that Mantis Reefs about, because if I can pay more money and get a fish or fishes with a better chance of long-term survival, I'd always rather pay more money. That doesn't concern me one bit. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, we shall see.
He's bringing John a -2. His red firefish jumped out of his tank through a tiny gap in the jump guard. Oh, no. But giving me a hell freaky one in place.
Hell freaky, yeah. Beautiful.
Freaky.
That is.
Oh.
They're quite expensive, them.
Are they?
Very expensive.
Yeah. They're over.
Nice.
Lovely fish.
Nice. Talking about fish for a minute, because we don't normally do that. We normally talk about corals. Any fish that you think at the minute are up there? Who's in the top sort of 10 at the minute? Who's in the top 10 fish chart? Sort of favourites, or just favourites that you think are good value for money, good addition to your tank?
Algae blending, straight away.
Yeah.
Carrot's got everything. The only thing it doesn't have is vibrant colour. Do you know what I mean? But I think that adds to the more fascination with it, because it's so rank looking. Do you know what I mean? Like Rob, but it's got great character, and it really does do a good job on the algae front. It really does. And what is an algae blenny? 40, 50 quid? 40 quid? I don't know. I can't remember.
Don't know. Not bought one in ages. I'll tell you what I did see the other day that I thought was a bit pricey. A scooter blenny was 55 quid for a red little tiny thing. I was going to put one in here. I was just like, but I'm not going to see it.
Pink one or normal?
A pink one. Not the brown one. The browny grey ones are about, I think they're what, 25 quid, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like my chalk goby, mate.
Yeah, I know you do.
What a good worker.
What's that, Rodders?
Chalk goby.
Chalk goby.
And I wouldn't buy a blue cheek or any other goby, because obviously they take mouthful of sand and swim up the middle of the water column and then drop sand everywhere. But chalk sits on the bottom, just cleans a sandbed constantly. I'm
having that issues with my tuxedos at the minute because the tank's growing out downstairs quite a lot. It's obviously a good thing. At night, they tend to go around, and the substrate, it's obviously that's big sort of particle substrate I've got downstairs. It's constantly dropping them in between acros, which is a bit of a pain.
I've got rastas I was growing on my tuxedos.
Reefer used to say mandarins. Have you rate them?
Yeah, mandarins are good, but they need to go into a very established tank because they need a lot of pop, don't they?
I've got spotted lovely.
Yeah. Liam's saying clown tangs. Are you a yay or a nay, boys?
I like them. They need a big tank and they get very aggressive, just like soul halls when they get big.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about them, but listen, beautiful looking, but tangs are not my thing, so I don't profess to know much about tangs whatsoever.
No, that is the fish, Gaz, that I've always wanted. I've never owned, and I got very close to having one.
Beautiful fish.
Very nice. Yes.
Probably one of my favourite tangs.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get one in really good condition.
Yeah. CC Reefs, any wrasse?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
I'll tell you what.
Kaz said she just wanted a wrasse tank.
Can never have enough of them either.
Yeah.
And McCosker's wrasse is about 50 quid.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent. I like Tamarin, mate. Cheap.
Yeah.
Eurydice, cheap.
My blue spot tamarin has really, really grown on me.
They're lovely, mate.
You're on big screen. See some of your fish behind you. Yeah.
is there's the yellowtail. Him and the blue spot go around together, mate. Just
Yeah.
you know, you see a fish in a fish shop and you go, oh, that's very. And when you get it home and it's been in your tank a while and obviously it's less stress and it's colour, the blue spot tamarin is really, really beautiful. Beautiful colour.
Small fish caught just to go be a great little
Yeah,
fish.
they're great. They are. I nearly got one of them about 2 months ago. They're round in the cleanup crew section in AAC. They look great.
You see, John, yeah, they're good, but I do think they're ugly. File fish, don't you think?
Well, the yellow spot one's not.
No, I'm not on about the yellow spot. I'm on about the traditional sort of triangle.
Yeah. One that looks like a bit like a flounder.
Yeah.
I like the red spot flymo blenny.
Not familiar with that one, boy.
It's the same shape as your algae blenny, but pure white with red dots all over it.
Nice. Great characters, Blenny. Until you've owned one. Listen, I was very late to the party with Blennies, and I got the algae Blenny because I didn't want to add another. Really, really great characters. Do you know what I mean? Very similar to the hawkfish, the way they perch on rocks, and you just see these two eyes just staring at you out of nowhere. Yeah, really, really.
Nice.
Nice.
I've opened another window on my PC. What is it?
Red spot flymo blenny.
Red spot
Flymo blenny. Beautiful fish.
We cut the grass and all.
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
Not that expensive either.
Okay.
Good algae cleaner for the rocks.
The screen.
Yeah.
Where are we? Looks a bit like you, that Lodders. To be fair,
Homer Simpson,
when you wake up in the morning. Yeah, very good.
That's not the best picture, but yeah, they're very pretty fish.
You knew you'd say so, Rob.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yours is amazing, mate.
Do you know what? That is one of the fish. If I can think one fish that my opinion has changed, not that my opinion matters on anything, but one fish that my opinion has changed on, having seen a healthy one with my own eyes, the colours that you don't necessarily jump out of you. A Sohol tang is absolutely glorious looking fish.
That's a pretty fish.
Yeah. I love a freckle face.
The tail, oh mate, it's a really, really beautiful fish.
Freckle face.
Yeah.
And I'm not a tang head whatsoever.
Not a 6 line.
No,
I think a 6 line.
Aggressive, mate.
What we got in here? Got a red spot, ugly, powder blue. Yeah.
I mean, they are glorious. And I'll tell you what, and I hate to sound like one of them idiots, but when you see powder blues in real life on the reef,
they're unreal.
When the sun hits them, mate, they are so vibrant in colour. On that, it is a thing of absolute beauty. And anyone that's snorkeled or scuba dived and has been fortunate enough to see them in the wild will know exactly what I mean. They're the best looking tank for me, but obviously, they need a decent sized tank. They can be quite aggressive, which might also come down to the size of the tanks that they're kept in. But if I could have any tang, that is what I would have, because they are absolutely stunning.
Love my Springer's Damsels Model Citizens. Swiss Guard Basslet.
Yeah.
Swiss
Guard Basslet, yeah. Quite a shy fish, though, I think, if I remember right.
Is that the cheaper version of the candy, isn't it? That's the red and white, and that's Swiss Guard.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Yes, it is. It looks just, it does, you're right. Share screen, where are we? Yeah, this one.
I think they're about 500 quid, aren't they? And the candies are can be $1,000 or over.
Oh. So that again, you went all quiet on me then.
I said, I think they're 400 or 500 quid, whereas the candy is round about double.
Wow. Got a red spot. I mean, Achilles. Achilles is always something I've been tempted, but I've always been put off by how many stories I hear of people losing them.
It's just the same as powder blue.
Do you think it's as hard?
Yeah, it's just as hard. Just as hard.
Yeah. Rob, what do you think? Which one's the hardest, Achilles or powder blue?
I'm trying to think if has Rob got a powder blue? Have you got a powder blue, Rob? I can't think.
It's more a question of what he hasn't got in that tank.
True.
He's in a really
he's like the knower of fish.
He's in a really privileged position that he's got such a big tank. He can just put anything in. You know, like not a lot of people have got enough room for.
But Rodders, he took great care in adding them in the first place. I mean, massive care.
Yeah, he's got powder blue. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, he has got one.
Here's one for you. Bit controversial. Liam's going with Chromis.
I love him. I told you before.
Oh dear. My
great tank killer
killed my Achilles. Oof.
Wow. I mean, I don't know whether I'm just. Whenever I go into a shop, you know, and it seems to have died down now. I've only been in, it'll be 4 years. 4 years in November. It seems to have died. We went through a real phase of designer clownfish. When I first came in, there was a real fad of whether they had Da Vinci's, snowflakes, storms, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, for me, you cannot beat your standard Ocellaris. I think they look, but they're each to their own. Right?
I think it's the chunk of colour you get, isn't it? There's to get a chunk of orange for such an affordable price.
Yeah, but then what about what you could say? What about orange storms? They're unreal, mate. Orange storm clowns.
I'll have to agree with Drip on this one, and it pains me to say that. I'm actually agreeing with something he's saying for a change. But yeah, I have to say, good old Ocellaris. I mean, what would the hobby be without clownfish? I mean, it's part of the reason why a lot of people get rid of them.
That was one of my first fish years ago, 20 odd years ago. Clownfish.
I mean, there was also when I first started, and I won't say the name of the shop, but it was very much cycle your tank with the clownfish, mate. They're hardy. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, ammonia through the gills is a good thing, is it? Not too sure about that. Yeah, just chuck them in, mate. They're hardy. They'll survive it.
Rob's saying Achilles. He would say the Achilles are a bit more difficult than a powder blue.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people have actually owned their dream fish. Funny enough, I was saying this to Rob yesterday. It wasn't a coral that got me into this hobby. It was a fish. It was an emperor angelfish in the shop. Yeah. Right. Wonder how many people have actually managed to get themselves and their tanks to a level where they're ready to buy that dream fish and had to remove it for whatever reason.
Yeah. Throw it in the comments. I mean, obviously you were solely responsible for Liam buying a shark, which I think was one of his dream fish.
I think we did establish that I was outside on the phone.
You tried getting me to buy one.
Was it an epaulet you was looking at, or was it the bamboo?
I wasn't looking at either of them. I was looking at the corals. You were just pushing me to buy.
Oh no, sorry, no, it was a wrasse that you was looking at, wasn't it? Until it started flashing.
Yes, it was a wrasse. It was. You're right. Cycle your tank with some freshwater mollies.
A load of people swear. The Americans swear by mollies, don't they?
Yeah. CC Reese, I have 3 clowns, all different.
There was a guy in Thailand, and his tank on YouTube was called.
Was it a guy?
DSPS, and he had 15 pairs of clownfish in his tank. I don't even know if the videos are there. They're probably ancient now, but he had one of the most beautiful reef tanks you've ever seen. But he had a load of clowns.
At Reeferpalooza, Tom, do you remember the geezer with a cylindrical tank? He must have had 100 clownfish
in on the left-hand side, wouldn't it? Yeah.
He must have had 100 clownfish in there, right? In a.
All the same breed, or
no? There were some different ones in there, right? And I'll tell you what, mate, it looks great.
What's it called, Ian? Can you remember?
It was called DSPS tank from Thailand. It was unreal, the tank. Ben will remember it from back in the day. But he had loads of lovely clownfish in it.
I wonder how Liam's getting on. Was it a sea apple he bought at Reef Experience? What was that weird and wonderful he bought? Was it a sea apple?
It was. Hang on a minute. Let me share screen. Which one of these then is it, Rodders?
He had like 10 parts to it.
Which one?
It was a big, that was the tank, mate. It was a big acrylic tank. He owned an acrylic company. Yeah, that's V3. So what a tank this was, mate.
Yeah.
He's not got it no more because he's moved, but what a tank, and what fish he had in there as well.
Come on, let's get to the money shot. Oh, aye. That's a tank, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Should have seen the whole.
See, it's acrylic, yeah.
The whole setup was unbelievable.
Oh, he's got crosshatch triggers in.
Nice. Yeah, look, all the different clowns. Look at that naked orange one there. Look.
Yeah, it's got a bigger one than me.
that was a serious tank. That was, mate.
Very nice. Very nice.
Wow. Sun coral.
Yeah.
I still need to get some of those.
You do.
I do. I am gonna give it a go. I am. I like that. Yeah.
Jay's in chat. Jay had a sun coral because he bought it.
Yeah, he did.
Look. There you go, Achilles.
Yeah. Sand. Substrate.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Tank.
Beautiful tank.
Wow.
You should watch that whole setup from the first video, Tom, because it shows the whole system.
How big is that?
It's huge, mate. You see the woman standing next to it.
Yeah. Oh, I have seen this video before. I have. Yeah. Did he have a ribbon eel in it? Is that what you call it?
Yeah. In there, mate.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. If anybody wants to check it out over the weekend, it is, yes, here you go, DSPS tank from Thailand.
Yeah, you want the first part of it. That's like, I think it's like 8-9 parts long. That's the first part. That was when it was being built.
All right, okay. Let's have a quick zoom in.
That's his water change tank on the left.
Mate, in ACI aquaculture, right? You just made me think of this. His water change tank, or both of them. Tom, do you remember the size of them? They go from the floor to the ceiling.
They were ridiculous, weren't they? All right, so it covers everything.
Oh, look at that! Very impressive.
How many returns has he got on that?
Oh, lots, mate.
They're wow. Yeah. Good video, worth checking out this afternoon if you want something to watch after you've been listening to us reprobates. Reprobates even. Some corals are absolutely beautiful. Mine starved because the shrimps are stealing the food from the polyps. Hard to keep with shrimps and greedy fish. They need some sort of guard over them.
Wow.
What intensity? Good question. 70%, I think, at the minute. 70%. Not really done much with it. Have you played around with yours? Mind you, you're just growing silicates at the minute, aren't you?
No, I've messed around with all of mine, mate. And obviously, when I put the par wires on it, it was too much. I was getting like 900 par, so I've had to put mine down to like 52%.
Have you still got all your corals in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just a bit sulky, a bit brown.
Everything's just gone brown. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Have you? Will you be adding any more fish to your tank, Rodders?
Just a chromis now, mate. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm all tanked out. I've got a couple off my sister because they had a tank in the ambulance station that burst. Gen 2 Red Sea.
Yeah, what happened there? You put that on Instagram the other day. What happened there?
Yeah, I went and I've cut all the silicon out and resealed it all.
So this was a tank. Sorry, just rewind for people that aren't aware of this. So this was a tank. You got a phone call.
Yeah, from my sister at 2:00 in the morning to say that the seam's gone on the Gen 2 Red Sea they've got in the staff room in the ambulance station.
So this you can imagine tank in a staff room.
Yeah, so like I think it's 5 or 6 foot wide. 2:00 in the morning. You can imagine they're all in the middle of their shifts. It's absolute carnage. I think it's like on a Saturday night, so one of the busiest nights.
Yeah,
and it was just water everywhere.
What size tank was it?
5 foot, I think, 5 or 6 foot. So I had to go and rescue all the fish. I've got their fox face. Let's see the fox face in the background.
Yeah.
Big Southend tang. Got that from there. The orange shoulder, that come from there.
Ah, I wondered where they turned up from.
Yeah.
Don't see
I thought you'd probably gone back for a twisty wrasse and came back with a fox face by mistake.
Don't see a fox face that much anymore.
Good algae grazer.
Yeah, mine eats a little bit of Browse. It's my feed you one every now and again when he's hungry.
Yeah, good algae grazer.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that fish. I don't know which. They've got it's a fox face, whatever. It was just the whole yellow body and a zebra head. It was great. Do you know what I mean? And it looked when you looked at it, you thought, "Wow, that looks like a saltwater marine fish." Do you know what I mean? It had that vibrant yellow and a head like a zebra. It was great.
Yeah, they had their whole tank was covered. It was just a softy tank, but it was completely covered in pulsing xenia. And she sent me a picture the other day, and the xenia's been out of the water probably 2 weeks outside now, and it's still alive. It's still alive. Nuts.
Scott, no, Ian hasn't changed his rock yet. No, he's sitting on his hands for a minute. Liam's saying foxface.
My hands are tired. Let's put it that way.
Quick. I think one of the fastest growing fish in the hobby.
What is?
I think he's referring to foxface. Yes. Yeah, you do tend to see foxfaces. You were saying sailfins and foxfaces. They tend to be the ones that people sell second hand because they've got too big for tanks quite often.
Yeah.
So what's happening this afternoon then? Drip maintenance day, is it? You said earlier.
Yeah, I will gravel vac the substrate again. My urchin nudged one of my torches off the rockscape, so I will put that one back on. I'll be emptying the skimmer, changing the floss out of the 4 cups. I will change the polyfilter. I will add my where it is. I'm still.
Have you played around with any of that food yet you got from Mecca's?
Yes.
And?
I'll be adding my little weekly dose of this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Pro Coral Mineral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Liam, good question. Sorry, Drip. Have you done the pipe work yet?
Absolutely not. No.
I don't even know why I asked that question because it made the local news. Okay. So maintenance day, yeah.
Maintenance day, mate. Yes. Yeah, I enjoy it, and it irks it eats away at me when I can't do it when I want to do it. But yeah, life outside of reefing and work, I've had a few more important things to do. Nothing's going to die for a bit of maintenance. Leaving it 2 days longer is not going to be massively harmful. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do a water change downstairs. Only 120 litres. Yeah.
I've got to make up some reagent for my KH keeper. That's it.
Yeah.
What salt are you using, Tom?
The Nios one. I'm hoping I've got enough in the Nios because I won that bucket of red sea dinner at Love to Reef, which I might use, but I'm going to use that in the garage, I think. So I'm going to try.
Controversial. Would you ever mix salts together to make one batch?
No,
I wouldn't.
No
way.
No. Yeah, Jay's saying your starfish looks class, Drip. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, boys. Anything else, or should we wrap it up there for a Sunday morning?
Well, if anyone's got any other questions.
Yeah. Anybody else doing any maintenance today, this afternoon? Throw it in the comments. Anything you want to talk about before we wrap up? 10 minutes. What I was going to say. Yeah, I've got to reset the garage. Definitely.
Oh, what's that?
I've got, fish-wise, I've got, so in the sump, it's a 5x2x2 sump. Yeah, sure it is. The purple tang's in there, because if you remember, my purple tang I've had for 12 years turned on my yellow. Can you remember, Drip, just before Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, and started ripping chunks out of each other. So it was a case of whichever one I catch first is going in the garage. So I caught the purple one. Purple's in the garage, in the sump tank, and then in the frag tray, I've got a Tamini, a vampire tang, and a blue eye, cold blue eye.
Have you got corals and that in there, or
no? Because the ATO, the Red Sea ATO that Drip gave me from last year's Love to Reef that he won in the raffle, he gave it me for the garage. Every time it has a software update, I was finding that it was stopping the ATO.
I remember you said that to me before.
I had a
Yeah.
massive issue with salinity in the garage, and I had a, I think it was like a hyacinthus or something. It was an acro that had grown out. It was doing really well, and it just wiped out all the corals in there. So I saved, well, not all of them. I saved quite a few of them and put them in the sump of the display tank. But yeah, I lost a lot, so I kind of fell out of love with it, and I just feed the fish, and it's just on an ATO at the minute.
Something I nearly bought yesterday. Sorry, you just reminded. I nearly bought a pink tip cataphilia. I've got this one down.
Yeah,
there.
it's looking good, that mate. It really is.
But I love cats. Do you know what I mean? Not really a coral you see much anymore in people's reef tanks, but I absolutely love them. And I nearly come home with that pink tip one, but I'm trying to be a good boy at the moment, money wise, because otherwise you just end up. It just becomes.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean,
definitely. We've got here. So, cheers, Jay. Yes, it's doing all right. Yeah, it's doing all right. Yeah.
Are you adding anything more to that now, or are you done?
No, because this is something that we can all. I'm hoping we can all agree on. It's so hard to not just when you see a gap, just to not put a coral. And that's what I've done downstairs. And I said I was never going to do it. And I've got way too many corals downstairs. And even if I pull them out, the majority of them are based out. So going back to what I'm saying with the garage, the idea there is literally I'm going to frag from the display tank and grow in the garage. And if I can swap with other reefers for stuff that I haven't got, because it is addictive.
But will that frustrate you? Because then is anything really going to get to the point of grown out, or is it going to get to the point of mini colony and now it's touching everything else?
Depends on where I've put them. I mean, you know the Hulk that we got off the Tim? That's absolutely crazy. The alien, thank you. That's got crazy. There's a few corals that have got really, really big. But then you're right, there's a few corals that I've placed where I shouldn't have placed them, and they're probably going to grow to fist size, maybe, and then they'll start stinging one another. So that'll be when I have to frag them. And I do think that there's the impact of having large colonies is so much more.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's nicer to look at than a tank just bonsai, whatever you want to call it, which is what I've ended up doing. So who knows? I might end up rescaping it. I've been thinking about redoing it. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you better get the garage up and running then, son. So you got
that's what I'm thinking. So it's the garage, get the garage state, because I was going to upgrade. So there's that 6 foot coral table in there. Yeah. I was thinking about putting the one that I've got at Matt's, which is, I think it's 10 foot. But then we should go across that racking. But then I kind of feel like if everything's settled, I haven't been testing the water, but I mean settled in terms of like microbiome, bacteria and your critters and everything else. Why would I want to disrupt it? Do you know what I mean? Probably now's the time. It's been running, how long? That's been running a year now, hasn't it? Easy. Garage. With a live rock in it. So I think now's probably the time to get the water right in terms of water changes and putting that's going to go on a calcium reactor. And then, start fragging from the DT and growing in the garage. So there we go. Hit the light button. Yes, please.
I need to mix up some magnesium. Sorry, that's one thing I need to do as well.
What's Jay saying? Just finished full water change. Thank you for entertaining me for chat. Yeah, no, thanks for joining us, Jay. Nice to see you in the comments, mate. Hope you're good. The
wonderful thing is when Jay gets his new tank, having come from and listen, not knocking anything, but having come from a nano tank for so many years, he's going to go into a bigger tank when he gets it done, and so many more options are going to be available to him. Do you know what I mean? So many behaviours in fish, so many colours in coral, so many other cleanup crew. His reefing journey is going to go on to another level, isn't he? When he eventually gets his new tank, he's going to love it.
Definitely. Scott's asking, when you were in America, is the systems in coral much different from the UK? Do you want to go with that one?
Not really. We
can only comment. So we can only comment on shops, can't we? We didn't see any hobbyists setups.
Yeah. I mean, no, not really. You've got Meckley that's very much calc. You go to Top Shelf, and they've got refugiums everywhere.
Which you tasted.
Which I did taste, yes. Which we did taste, yeah. No, listen. There's 100 ways to skin a cat, isn't there? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it's, you know, a lot of it for them will be the cheapest way possible. Also, you know, they'll have their set methods, but also a lot of it is the cheapest way possible. So, like anything, you find what works for you and you stick to it. Do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, people will try different things and they won't work, and people will try things and they will work. And I didn't notice any major difference. Did you, Tom?
Well, I will say that the coral range was ridiculous compared to us in terms of.
Yeah, but I mean the systems. Oh, sorry,
systems, no. Systems, no, nothing to. I mean, a lot of it's calc, like you say, but this is based on ACI and Top Shelf, and these are farms that need to sell their product. They need their product to grow, you know, so they are increasing and pushing parameters, like Blaine says on that video that we did with him at the farm, to try and get, you know, optimum output.
I mean, top shelf aquatics. I'm pretty certain I won't ever see a variety of corals ever again in my life anywhere better than that place. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous. It was Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for sure, for stickheads. Definitely.
Mental, mate.
Yeah. And to be fair, and some of the LPS, the Gonnies, the Acans, Blastomusa, yeah, there were some stunning corals. Yeah, definitely. But the fish weren't as good, we said, didn't we? We both agreed that the fish selection was nothing like what we get in the UK. So, to answer your question, Scott, system's pretty much the same. A lot more corals, but yeah, fish weren't as impressive.
But like anything out there, obviously they've got if you go into a fish shop like Top Shelf and say, "Listen, mate, I can't see this fish. Can you get me this fish?" I dare say they'll be able to go, "Yeah, we'll let you know when we've got it."
Yeah,
you know, they've not got any less transit routes than us. They've probably got more, if anything. Do you know what I mean? So, you know,
you got to think the hobby's 50 times as big than it is.
Oh, mate, probably even bigger than that, brothers. When you go out there, you get a sense of, you know, it's. Oh, mate, it pisses on us.
The thing that we're carrying hand luggage on a plane with, I don't know, passport, wallet, whatever in, and most Americans are coming from these shows with a little cool box with frags and corals and just getting on the plane and then flying to the other side of the States and putting it in the tank. So that was a bit of a frustrating concept
I met a few of them, like round the swimming pool and that. They were driving 9 hours after the Sunday. They were hanging around for the Sunday because obviously, you know, there's the deals and everything like that. Things like they was getting ready to drive 9 hours home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But the thing is, they love it, mate. That 9 hour journey is excitement because they're taking these corals home that they've got from Reefing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a wonderful experience.
And the prices were it was a lot more expensive. I will also say that was a lot more expensive. A few of my comments here. CNC Reefs. I have to remove a sponge that is growing on my Kenya tree. Thanks everyone for the birthday wishes. You are welcome, John. We hope you have an amazing day, whatever you get up to. Enjoy it. Can't stand those bonsai tanks with 15,000 different corals in it. Yeah, but you know what I mean, though, mate. We all get that itch to. There's a space, could put a coral there. I agree, mate. Big setup. Yeah. I have a 6x3 in the garage. I'm going to go down the Top Shelf way of placing corals to grow out. The pipework, that is something I want to do in the garage. Definitely, JC's Reef. Definitely. And when you see it with the flow underneath, the laminar flow makes complete sense.
And that wasn't just a Top Shelf thing. That's one thing. They was all doing that in America. They all had that PVC pipework.
Yeah, because Mecca's had it in his raceways, didn't he? Of course he did. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, Ryland. If you were the sound of gushing water, relax to stick your pipework the wrong way around. Okay, fair enough. We're going to Rodders, what do you think about the ATI Stratton? Better than the Radion?
Much. Miles better.
All right, okay.
But not the software.
No. Yeah.
But the actual light, I just think it's very T5 looking. Do you not agree?
It is. And I think aesthetically, in a house, you'll struggle to find something especially if you've not got a pelmet. If you've got a pelmet like I have downstairs, so I've got another reason why I got the coral cares, because it doesn't really matter. You just want light.
Well, that's another thing. Blaine said about the Americans love the deep blue look, didn't they? Obviously, Mexico don't. But a lot of when I spoke to a lot of them, and that was, and I'll say it again, anyone thinking of going to Reefing Palooza next year, do it, right? But it's when before the show, after the show, and the day before, the days after, if you're still there, you sit and you chat amongst reefers, and you get an idea how they're very, very heavy blue spectrum, aren't they? Do you remember a lot of them were saying that it was only really Meckley where you saw full spectrum at any point out there, Tom? Really, weren't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. The orange lens, the Jaffa glasses, it is exactly that. It is that. But I mean, the whole experience for us was just we were literally like, you know, kids in a candy shop, weren't we, when we got there? Yeah,
and you know what? They couldn't do enough to accommodate whatever it was that we wanted to see or hear, or they couldn't do enough, mate. Certain shops.
I definitely think there'll be an English invasion next year. Definitely. Would you sway the Phillips Coral Cares for your Strattons if they were out of the same setup? No, because the Phillips Coral Care are half the price of a Stratton. That's why they win for me on a big tank cost. So Coral Cares are about 500-ish. Yes, you have to get a controller in before you tell me. I know you have to get a controller. You always remind me of that. That's a couple £100. But yeah.
How much is the controller? 250?
Yes, £200.
Interesting to see whether the Strattons over time drive the price of the Coral Cares down.
Yeah. We have a guest that I sent a link to earlier in case he could come on and give us 10 minutes of his time before we wrap up. And he's here. I'm going to throw him on. Mo's joined us.
Hey.
Hey, everyone.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah, fine. Sorry I couldn't come in earlier.
No, you're fine. So is this the tank now then?
Yeah, this is the back screen of the tank. So I just thought I'd just give you have a look.
How's the weather in Leicester? Good?
Yeah, all good. I don't know what it's like in Bristol, but it's good in Leicester.
Lovely.
Oh dear.
Looking good, mate.
Asking about. No, it's doing all right.
Yeah.
No, there's silicates. Loads of silicates.
Loads of silicates, Ian. Listen to the man.
Yeah, I know, but he's got the water. And he's got the corals to use it all.
Why do you suggest your silicates are that high, Mo?
Out with GFO. Let the corals take it up. I told you. There's my. I don't know if you guys haven't seen the rest of the room. It's a bit of a mess, so I just popped in, so I just should show you around the room. But this is my frag tank. This is my frag tank. There's my clam tank.
Way!
There's another one.
Yeah. There's my leather. There's my green leather. Just a few little bits, and there's nothing much in there. And then this is my sump. Sorry about the mess, guys. It probably is a mess.
Yeah, looks well shit, Mo.
See, he's got a bubble king. Can't see him knocking his one.
Yeah. So this is the internal. This is the new 500 internal.
It's small, isn't it?
Yeah, it's smaller than the old one actually, but it's nice. It does the trick. And then I upgraded the pumps though. This one for Rob. I don't know if Rob's on the stream.
So you must be running ozone then.
Have a look, Rob. There's my ozone.
Mo, why do you suggest that your silicates are high?
Because of the ceramics.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know you had ceramic rock. Oh, right.
Yeah, it's ceramic, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Has it come down over time, or?
A little bit. It waxes and wings, but it's still been up a little bit. All of my ice. This is ICP testing, obviously. It's been up like high. Every time I come back, don't worry about the silicates, but they're high. They're not dangerous, but they're high.
And did you go through like loads of diatoms?
Oh, diatoms.
Right, you're gonna get.
Oh.
Look at the bottom of the tank. There's nothing. You see, and then eventually what happens? You get the coralline, and then that brown snotty stuff just fades away. And a lot of that is to be honest with you, Ian. I'm gonna say.
Can't hear you, Mo. Can you speak up a bit?
Yeah, Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, Ian, don't mess with the GFO. You're just destabilizing your phosphates and your your algae, and you get all your algae phases going. Just let it ride.
Okay.
On this tank, I had a crash about a year and a half ago. I don't know if you guys remember, with a sea hare, and it just wiped out the SPS, and then I had to start again. So this is about a year's worth of SPS collecting, and basically my nitrates went up to 200, my phosphate went up to 2. I left it there for ages, went through another this algae bloom, and then everything just disappeared. And I wasn't messing, no GFO, nothing. I used lanthanum a little bit.
Yeah, lanthanum. So you getting the coralline and that now then?
Yeah, it's full. It's everywhere. The tank, the bottom glass. I just scraped it. But yeah, it comes, and as soon as it starts coming, it's fine. And as soon as you see the coralline come, that's when your corals start going crazy. But what you're gonna do, go through your algae phases, and I'm not messing with the leather. Put big Monty plate in. Put your easy corals in to absorb all the nutrients, absorb all the crap, and that's why the big leather comes in. And I've kept it. I've put it in my frag tank, but you put leather in, it grows nice, and you get sponges all in your sun, and it filters out the silicates. They're not a problem, but they leach. Your ceramics are going to leach silicates, and even in my last tank, how long did I have it? 10 years, and it was 100%, maybe 99% ceramics. No live rock. It eventually gets there. It takes longer.
Yeah,
but you can see the polyp extension is crazy in this tank.
So Mo, if you ever decide to build another tank, bigger, smaller, whatever, would you use live rock from the start, or would you use your ceramic again?
So here's the thing. Two things. The thing about ceramics is you can build your scape.
Oh, we're losing you, Mo.
We've lost you, mate. We've lost you there.
Just take him off main screen. If
we'll
add Mo back.
And when I set this tank up, I couldn't get. I had live rock from my last tank, but it was dead live rock, and I couldn't get live rock. So it's nicer to set up the tank with ceramics. Don't be afraid of setting up with ceramics, but it takes longer. Get your corals in, and if you're just in a hurry, live rock's easier. There's no right. So if you're patient, you will get exactly the same result eventually. I've got in here now. I've got all the the Aussie coral, a few signature frags at the front. Show you in a minute. And his frags are beautiful and going on. But I've got you guys asking about the bases on some of the corals.
No, it sounds like you're in a washing machine. So
they're growing right. They eventually it comes good.
Oh, he's trying. Right, I'm going to remove him. There we go. We'll add
it's
him
the
back.
patient part that I haven't got.
It is. A few comments in there. There is a video, to be fair, that we did. It came on, didn't he?
We had him on before, didn't we?
We had him on before. There's a video on the Reefers Network page with Mo. So if you want to talk, if you want to watch it back, it goes through all his setup, why he uses what he uses, and it's incredible. Go on,
I totally get what Mo's saying, and obviously what he's explaining there is proper experience as well, right? Which is always a massive.
He's got the size.
That's what I was going to say, Bodders. Because your tank is the size it is, and it's not too much of a hassle for you to do that, right?
He's got the size.
Exactly.
When he can go and bang 100 pieces of coral in that will absorb the silicates. He can do that. I can't.
But also, you've got a size where it's not too much of a chore for you to remove it.
Yeah.
Whereas him, can you imagine him removing all of that scape and then adding live rock and scape it again?
Wouldn't.
So
I couldn't.
I totally.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have another go. One more go before we wrap up.
Oh.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, you're back. Just a little bit. The footage is really distorted. I don't know whether you're on Wi-Fi or on mobile. Can you hear us?
There's a storm in Leicester.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
We can hear you a bit.
There's a few people in the comments. There's a few people in the comments, Mo, saying they'd rather see your pretty little face.
I'll show you my face.
Let's chuck you back on big screen. One more go. Right. Okay. Can you hear us all right?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
That's
that looks
better.
better.
That looks a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I'll stand where I am then. Give me a sec.
So, Rob's saying Abyss pumps with TMC Wi-Fi. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Good idea, this Tom. Mustard.
Yeah, mustard. Yeah, there we go. Well, if he figures it out in the next 5-10 minutes, we'll throw him back on because I know people are interested to see what he's got in his tank. And to be fair, we've not spoken to him in a while. So you're going to leave it then, Rodders, or are you going to carry on taking it out?
Yeah, that's coming straight out. What are you talking about? No chance.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, we can hear you, Mo. One last go, because what you're showing is that. Oh, a lot more coral in there now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Mo, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you ever think of using the ocean sea waves for that tank being that big?
He's got them.
Oh, there you go. Oh, how funny is that? Sea sweet.
That's the originals.
All right. I'm guessing they're still on there, so I'm guessing you're a bit advocate of them then.
Yeah. This is basically, look, I've got 2 of these.
Oh, there you go, Rob. He's rubbing his thighs right now, looking at that.
Yeah. I've got 2 of them.
They look cheap.
This has made all the difference. So I got basically 6 jabals.
Yeah.
And 2 cannons.
So how are they attached to the bracket? Are they magnetic?
Clamp.
No, I mean the power head. Are they magnetic?
Oh yeah, I've got the You have to buy extra magnets, and you basically put it through the glass. It's a really powerful magnet, and you just basically put on It's just like you do with a Tunzi.
And what about the sea waves?
Oh yeah, look, these have got little screws underneath. You've got a little bracket,
right?
Yeah.
And then you see the screws.
Yeah.
They screw up. I've got my double brace there. It just screws up onto the brace underneath, and they just fit the top.
Nice. You rate them then?
So the ocean sea waves, okay, you can set the angle and you can set the speed. On this one, more industrial. You plug it in. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've just synced them all so they all go at the same speed, and I run them all like 3 going this way, and then the other 3 go the other way.
Yeah.
Right, and then I leave them on constant. The jabals on constant, and it just revolutionised my tank. It's absolutely unbelievable the effect it had on the SPS.
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely, no question. The problem with the, obviously I can't do without the big cannons because they send you the overall gyre. But the problem with them, because they're at the back of the tank and I've got a peninsula, I couldn't really strap them on the front. I was getting a big gyre, and when the return flow comes across, it's always in one direction.
Yeah.
So even if you vary it, mine was going back to front and coming down the middle, and that's quite in a constant wave. There was no breakup. So I left them on the same setting, but I just added these 6 pumps, and this just breaks up the flow. So you get a constant flow from the cannons all the time. And then these just blow across the coral. So it's absolutely random flow on all the corals. So you can see all the polyps just go crazy all over the place.
Brilliant.
Nice.
So it's like massive difference, and there's flow everywhere and all the corals, and
no dead spots whatsoever.
You can see them, the polyps that sometimes they stop and then they go crazy. I can't zoom the camera in, otherwise I could get you to look into the polyps, but.
You have to get in there, Mo. Get in there.
I know. I have one of those GoPros, and it's like boxed away somewhere. But
mate, I had my GoPro in all over Meckley's vat, so I had my GoPro in there. Bloody brilliant.
Yeah, same thing. So I'll dig it out, and then I'll do some pictures, just like because top down on these, the corals they're like, they're basically the same colour as Christian's getting really. Just top down, really nice colours. From the side they look all right, but when you just look top down, you think, oh. And are
you housing a reefing barbecue this summer for all of us to come and have a look?
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting something sorted out in the garden, so you never know.
Right. There we go. You heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah. We did one before in my last tank. Well, Isan came actually from Triton, and then we had a little. My wife was a good cook, so made everyone a bit
What sort of month we're looking at, just so people can clear their schedule, Mo?
Mo Allen's asking in the comments, how long is the wire on the Sea Waves? The power cable, I'm assuming he means.
You get extensions. So I think it comes with 2 meters or something. And then I've got, if you look on mine, I've sort of cable tied it down. And I've got, the guy will supply you with, it's Ed, his name is, the top guy. You supply you with just an extension. It's just like the Jabao extension cables. You know the plugs?
Yeah.
You just sort of, you plug it in and it's watertight. And I've just run them along the top brace. But the Ocean Sea Waves is the same thing, and you know this you can only get these are the original ones from America. So you got to pay customs, you got to pay all the rest of it. So it adds up, and the motor on these is a bit more robust. And there's a German company as well that do some. They were a bit flimsy. They were much better, like Wi-Fi control and stuff. But they weren't as robust as these. And these are just like, it's one of those set and forget things.
How many of them have you got? How many of the sea wave things have you got?
6. Look, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 on
the other side. Right.
Yeah. And I was a bit reluctant, to be honest, at first, because they're sat on the top of the tank, and the tank was nice before. But obviously, I put a little bit of clutter when I feed the fish and stuff, and just leave it on top. But at first it was nice. But actually, once you've got the corals in there, you just look at the corals, you don't really notice the pumps, even though there's big things sticking out in the middle of your glass. You kind of don't notice it so much.
Well, they're helping the corals look the best, aren't they? With the flow they're getting.
They're getting there's a little bit more. Some of them to colour up. Some of the Aussie ones, they get a bit sad when they come in. But I had this big table which went brown. And then it just took 4 months to get in the purple tips and green and stuff coming up nice. I've got a couple of 10 there doing all right. Shortcake's doing all right. A couple of stags. The problem is I put this stag in the middle, and it's going crazy. And at some point, I'm gonna have to take it out, I think.
Make sure you video that.
Yeah. Just go. It's finding its space, but I don't know if you can see it in the middle there.
Any fish that you would love to add to that aquarium that you haven't yet?
Is that a joke? Is that a trick question?
Well, a black tang, obviously, I'm going to guess.
Black tang's on the list. Look, I was trying to get onto the stream, get my desktop started, and you were naming all these fish, and I've got every one of them in the tank. Like I've got a sohal. Sohal was bickering with the clown tank, so I took the clown tank and put the sohal in. I put them in together actually, and this clown started beating up on the sohal, so that's why I took it out. I got this mata tank. It's actually really nice. Got obviously your standards.
Is anyone else thinking straight away? How on earth did you catch a clown tang in that sized aquarium?
Yeah.
I used the Nios trap, believe it or not, and it was too big for the trap.
Yeah.
I was after this for ages. The Maculiceps. You guys know that one? You got that?
Freckle. No, I can see it's a lovely fish.
Yeah, freckle nice. Yeah.
I took they come in the seasonal, I think. But so that was nice. I've got a copper band. It's been ace.
Convict.
Yeah, he's a bit of a bugger. He fights with that jewel tang. I got a jewel tang in there somewhere. I got a Tamini, obviously, for the
stuff. Too. Nice.
Yeah, the wrasses, obviously, my tank's not covered anymore. So I used to be one for wrasses, like Ian was saying.
Yeah.
But the tank's not covered anymore. So I tell you what I did buy the other day. So I'd love to have more wrasses. I've got an Iridis. I'll get a silver belly. I think they're always quite good. Just nipping on the pests and stuff. I bought this from eBay the other day, just for the algae. At first, I thought it was rubbish, but actually, it's absolutely brilliant. I don't know if any of you guys have got this. You just put
3D printed. It looks like.
It's 3D printed, yeah, and you just put your nori in there, in between the red and the black thing, and they don't. The tangs love it. At first, I thought, they wouldn't be able to get all the algae through the mesh. But they do. They rip it all out. I've just put that
where the algae sheet will go soft. They can literally suck it
Yeah.
And yeah,
You
nice.
see how they love it because they keep coming back for it. It's empty.
Yeah.
That was good. I bought that the Max Spec magnet. Have you guys tried that? It was on one of the shows streams, and so I bought one from AAC, and that's a really good magnet. It cleans all the stubborn algae off the glass really well. I don't know if it's just because it's new, but it's got a blade sharpener on it and stuff. So that, yeah,
We'll have to get you back on, mate.
Yeah, definitely have to come back on and give us a full update.
we'll get on.
Got any angelfish in there, Mo?
Nah, one day. I learned that lesson.
When it's all grown out.
You know, when it grew out, I put an emperor in there. I had a blue face. I had a gold flake. I had about 7 or 8 of the classic angels, and they annihilated a few of the corals. So it took me about a week to get them out again. And I had them in there for a week, and I learned my lesson from that.
Yeah.
So I suppose, when you got mature corals, you might get away with it. If you feed the tank well, you get away with it. But I went once to Luke Loyne's. I don't know if you guys have seen Luke Loyne's tank on YouTube somewhere. You'll find an old.
Yeah, he's not doing it anymore, is he?
He had a crash and then he shut down.
Yeah, he's doing. He does all the model aeroplanes and stuff now, doesn't he?
I don't know if he still does it, but Vince obviously used to go over there a lot.
Yeah, I remember Luke Loyne. I've met him a couple of times.
Got a question, Mo.
Yeah, go on.
Do you regret not going full black on the bottom?
Oh, I'll tell you, there's another story there. Let me show you something.
Oh.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, so he did.
I tell you, funny story. I don't know if I videoed it right, but when I put all the ceramics in, I put those boards down at the bottom. It's called starboard. So Worldwide Corals always talk about it. And I put the starboard in everywhere, cut it all up nice, got it in between the gaps where the white was, basically when I put the water in, they just floated up. I sat the ceramics on top of it. They took the ceramics with it, and I came back, and when the tank was filled up, the black boards were just floating up, and the ceramics were all over the place. So I had to empty the. So I guess they silicone it down or something.
Yeah, they do. That's right. They silicone them down. Yeah.
I didn't know that, so I just put them in, thinking, yeah, it looks great. And so I did do it black, and then I thought, it'll grow the coralline right. But actually, no. I mean, it looks like a little bit like sand. The only thing, obviously, is the black. But no, I started with sand on my last tank and eventually siphoned it out because it just traps nutrients. And if you keep on top of the sand bed, fine. If you leave it alone, maybe fine. But I was trapping nutrients in my last tank, and so this time I bought sand, thinking, yeah, I'll do it. And then when I started, and the silicates and stuff, I just thought, nah. I never got around to putting it in. I've still got the bags on the side. So no, a bare bottom for me. If you're SPS like 90% SPS, you've got to keep the nutrients sound, and you want to feed a lot as well.
Yeah.
So for me, it's bare bottom really. It's all, swings and roundabouts, really. There's certain things you'll like. You want to keep SPS, you've got to look at your nutrients. If you keep if you've got silicates, put some softies in. Like I was saying to Ian, don't do it, mate. Honestly, your softies, they'll grow big, but you can always take them out. And I was getting Doug and a few others saying, just put loads of corals in that you don't need, and then take them out again once the tank matures a bit. It just gets your biology going. And that's a lot of sound advice, and you'll find that seasoned reefers will tell you, oh, just do this, put that. Yeah, you won't keep it for. And you always want, no, I want to put my tenuous straight in. It never works that way.
Yeah.
You've got to go through it. You might.
The annoying thing is, mate, I know all of this.
Yeah. Suck eggs, but same with me. My nephew will come around and he'll tell me stuff that I already know, and then you just want to hear, that's what you should do. And then you think,
of course.
And you always think, oh, I'll get away with it. I'll do this, I'll do that, and it'll be fine. And I've had, this took a while to mature, but I knew it was going to take that because of the ceramics.
So you think to leave it?
If you like the scape, I don't mess with the GFO. GFO is your worst enemy, mate. I did that in my last tank as well. It's your worst. In this one, I've got lanthanum, right? I've worked out the lanthanum that I've got. I worked out what dose I can do it. I put it on a Kamoa. I set it at really low rate, 0.03 per minute, and then I go between 0.1 and 0.2, and it'll take me a week to get it down to 0.1, and it'll take about a week, 10 days to get it to 0.2. And that's all I do. I set the Komodo.
What sort of amount of lanthanum are you dosing to that per day then, Mo?
I don't want to. I'll work it all out for you, because for what I use will wipe your tank out. Because I use 0.3. I use 12 mils a day of. I put 10. I've got this special stuff. It's 10 mils. 10 mils is bright blue. I'll show it to you one day on the stream. It's bright blue. It's 10 mils per liter of that, and I have to do that at 12 mils a day at 0.3 mils per minute. And what I do, I initially tried it in the skimmer, all of that stuff, and it gets into the tank. So the first thing I did was dose it into the skimmer, and it was white in the tank. And it does affect your tanks, no question. But I put it in my weir box. I might show it to you. I'll put it in my weir box. Give me a sec. I might run out of signal when I go in the back. That's the only problem.
Did you put it in? Did you put it into your weir box because it's the fastest flow area?
Yeah, so it mixes well. So this is my Kamoa. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
This is my lanthanum. I make it homemade. It goes in there and it drips into that little pipe. It drips into the weir box, and then it cycles through the sump. Excuse my mess. You might lose signal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so then it cycles in there, and there's quite a lot of flow. That's where I've taken my. You notice I've taken my fleece out. So that's the and it basically just goes through this hole there, and it mixes there, and it goes through the sump. So my kalk mixes
we're losing you.
I dose a mix of kalkwasser and my balling still, and that's it. And then basically I switch that pump. I switch that pump on. You might hear me better here. Look at this. So I switched that pump on, and it just drops my phosphates down. So I don't mess with I had a little bit of GFO that I tried in my RO water, because at one point my RO tank was recording some silicates as well. But I just left it. I haven't run it really. That's the only time I've ever put any GFO on this system. And I haven't taken the reactor out. But lanthanum works a treat, but you just got to... so what happens, it goes through this sump and then gets skimmed out. Nothing comes into the tank when I dose it. And I dose it at such a low level, 0.3 mils per minute, that I never see... All I ever see is that the phosphate just drops. But the fish are absolutely fine. No question, no issue at all.
Rob's asking where you're sourcing it from, Mo, if you don't mind sharing that.
So it's a swimming... Basically, I had it on my old tank. The last 2 years or so is when I worked out that lanthanum was better than GFO on my last tank. Okay, I bought some swimming pool phos remover, but the swimming pool stuff, don't do it. Okay, because it's probably about 200 times too potent for what we need. You put a drop of that stuff in my tank, it will strip the phosphate out. So don't. Wow. So that's what I'm a bit cautious about. It's highly, highly concentrated, because imagine the size of a swimming pool and the amount of phosphate you got to take out of a swimming pool. So yes, it is that. But you can get there's this stuff called, I think Tropic Marine just released liquid phos remover.
I've actually got one, Mo, by Modern Reef. This one.
Oh, so and then there's one called Phos RX, which Melev's Reef talks about. He's got a video on it. And,
I've used that before.
That one will work fine, but don't drip it in. He drips it into the tank. I advise just drip it into the weir box and let it circulate through your sump, and it mix, and then drop down onto the floor of your tank and get skimmed out, or floor of your.
Have you noticed? You've got a lot of tanks. Have you noticed any difference in the behaviour or the or the skit? Anything detrimental to your tanks?
No. The only time I was worried when I first put it in, I dosed it into the skimmer, and I dosed it like a mil or something. The skimmer, and the tank went a bit white, and the tanks were breathing a little bit heavy. It reminded me of my old tank. And when I first used it in my old tank, I used to dose it in the tank, and I lost a tang, and it was breathing heavy, and the gills were a bit. And then after that, I just worked out on my old tank, how to dose it, like I'm doing now. So you've got to really slow, and then make sure it's got a lot of flow to mix, and then even if it gets in the tank, be so dilute, it won't be an issue. But that's all I do, and I've been doing that for.
I wonder why it's more tangs it can harm more than other species of fish, because they do say it's more prominently tangs.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I've noticed it. Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I've noticed it's tangs as well. I don't know why specifically. I haven't noticed. That was the only time I had the heavy breathing again. It was the tangs. I don't know. Don't know the answer.
So maybe the Achilles and the powder blue going at each other there.
Yeah. They always they just go around each other, and they'll do that. Little, it's like amazing to watch. Every so often they do it, and then one will chase the other will chase. But I don't know if it's playful or whether it's aggressive. They don't strike each other, but they're like, look, it's chasing each other now. And then in about 10 seconds, it'll be the other way around. They'll swap, and then it'll chase the other one.
What are the dimensions of that tank, Mo?
Have a look. It's 8 foot by 8 foot.
Beautiful.
And
the system volume is what?
Total is about 1,000 gallons, so it's about 4,500 liters. Actually, funny enough, same size as my last system. My last one was 6 by 8 by 3, and the sump was a little bit smaller.
Do you prefer the cube? Do you prefer the cube shape?
Yeah. Well, obviously, with when I use the other tank, this one, see, I put it all on display, so I got it all open. The only problem with this is humidity.
Right.
And then so when I had it before, it was I could only see one panel. So this time I thought I'd see all 4 views.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. More awkward.
What about working on the middle of it, Mo?
Yes. the tons grippers, and if you see how I've put, I don't know if you can see it from there. You see how I put the
rods
in. So basically, I drilled the ceramics, and I've got holes, and I've actually put a long drill bit as well, it must be 1 meter long, and I can actually go over and drill some more holes in if I need it. But basically, I just sort of push those in, and the thing about the rods is you get flow all the way around the coral.
Yeah, of course.
All the way around. It's not sat on a rock. They love it, and the polybic is absolutely amazing on them. Yeah. It's better than I had before, and I think I took the fleece off, and since the fleece came off, I'm just guessing there's more particles for longer in the
feeding the tank.
I've got cracks in that second section after I showed you where it mixes, and a skimmer. That's all I've got on this system.
Well, for anybody that wants to watch the setup, we talk about it in this episode here, which was about four months ago when we had Mo on a Friday night. Talked through the whole build, 3-hour long stream, so definitely worth watching if anybody watching in the live section wants to know a little bit more about the tank. But Mo, you're going to come on again and give us an update in the future? Get a few dates over to you then. Okay. Yeah. I'm just conscious we're past the 2-hour mark now, gentlemen. So I'm going to wrap us up. But Mo, thanks for coming on at last minute.
Thanks,
Give us a little bit of an update. Nice to see the corals and the fish. Really appreciated. Thanks to those of you in the audience that have joined us this Sunday morning / afternoon. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You're going to announce Friday's stream?
Yes, Friday we have Terrell from Putang Reefs. For those of you that watched us on Friday, you'll know that Terrell will be coming on. Looking forward to that one. So yeah, thank you for joining everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already done so. And we will see you all on Friday. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.